Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. What a test match we've had in Karachi, Pakistan versus Australia. A fifth day thriller there, and what a comeback from Pakistan. After getting all out for 148 in the second innings, making 400 plus, losing 7 wickets. Captain Babar Azam with a captain's innings, brilliant knock there, 196, four short of his 200. I felt that he batted really, really well and was supported well first by Abdullah Shafiq and then Mohammad Rizwan as well, the vice captain, coming in and scoring 100. Excellent. At one stage, I think day three, it looked like it was going to be Australia's game. Even day four, when Babar had that partnership with Abdullah Shafiq, it felt like it was just a couple of wickets away Australia, and they would win the game. They had enough time on day five, but the pitch was good to bat on, and the Pakistani captain batted so well under pressure. You can have any kind of flat pitch. This wasn't as flat as the first one, mind you, and even if it was good for batting, it's not easy to do that on a day five pitch, especially when you've got bundled out in that first innings. That pressure is there. The ball is turning. Lion picked up 4 wickets, but the threat wasn't as great because he negated that. Babar Azam using his feet, playing the spin well, back foot, front foot, finding the gaps, finding the boundaries, rotating the strike. I think they ran the singles very well, especially on day five in the morning. Him and Abdullah Shafiq, they ran the singles, they rotated the strike. They didn't let the Australian bowlers settle in their line and length. Whenever the bowlers trying to find their line length, they switched the strike, and they had to adjust for the other batsman, and that's exactly what happened throughout the day. Now there's going to be a lot of talk. Babar Azam for me is, he's there in the Fab Four, Fab Five. Whether he replaces a player or you add him as a player, he's there as one of the top batsmen in the world in all formats, because he's shown it. In the T20 format, he's shown it in the one days, and now as well in the Test matches. Scoring 100 like this under pressure, that's what counts. You can score hundreds in first match of an innings, first innings of a match, but on day five, especially when your team is 300-400 runs off victory. So much to do, and to bat like that, you have to really give him credit, and I applaud him and Mohammad Rizwan. Excellent batting and a great performance from Pakistan. Australia will be very disappointed. When you have that big of a target, now you could say that should they have not batted, should they have enforced the follow-on? That's all irrelevant. I think they had enough time to bowl Pakistan out. It's just that they just weren't good enough on day five. I felt Swepson wasn't as productive. He was decent on day four, but day five he couldn't get the ball to turn as much. Also, they were picking him easier. He was bowling a few more full tosses. Line and length wasn't as accurate as you would have liked, and that support that Line needed wasn't there. And Line also, if you've seen in the last couple of years, even on day five, he hasn't been as lethal as you expect Line to be on a day five pitch. And that pitch wasn't a typical day five pitch. It wasn't cracking like we thought it would, but still, you expected more from Australia. The fast bowlers as well, Mitchell Stark and Pat Cummins, they tried their best, but I think they were hoping that the spinners would have finished it off. That's what they were probably hoping from their end. And it's not to be. Now they're going into that third Test match, all to play for. There's going to be pressure on both teams, especially I think Pakistan will have more confidence going into this. And if they do win the toss, I think Pakistan will have an advantage in that game, and they will make sure that if they're bowling last, they win that game. They will make sure that they defend the target. And Australia had a very good chance. Unfortunately, they didn't capitalize, but they still can come back. They're still a good team. They will also have some, players with a lot of confidence. Usman Khwaja scoring a brilliant 100. He'll be full of confidence. The way Stark bowled in the first innings, that will give him a lot of confidence. So there is stuff there. Nathan Lyon picking up 4 wickets. But overall, it's been Babar Azam and Rizwan's day. Abdullah Shafiq as well. The first Test match he batted so well, and he's continued that now in that second Test match, not giving early wickets. Leaving the ball very well, defensively very solid, and rotating the strike. They picked up the singles with ease, both players, and they kept rotating, kept playing with the lines and lengths, and they didn't let the pressure, come up to them. They soaked in the pressure, and they deflected that pressure back onto Australia. Towards the end of the day, you could see there were a bit of nerves that will Babar go for it and will Rizwan go for it and actually chase down such a mammoth total. But you could see that Australia had enough runs on the board. They had enough time. They just didn't bowl as well as you would have liked to. But I think that pretty much wraps it up. Babar Azam, the player of the match, one of the top batsmen right now in the world, arguably the best right now in current form. The way he's batting, he has close competition with Joe Root. I think Joe Root's been outstanding. Joe Root also in different conditions, whether it's India, whether it's Sri Lanka, and now in West Indies scored 100. He's been outstanding as well. But Babar Azam, all three formats, has been very consistent. We saw him in the T20 World Cup as well. So I think he's been great. And from Pakistan's point of view, I would like to see Yasir Shah, play as well. I think he can be very effective, especially if they bat first and they bowl on day 5. I think he can be very effective. He can cause problems for the batsman, and he's a quick kind of leg spinner, so he'll have Australia on their feet, on their toes. And I think I would like to see him play, and I would like to see a rank turner. I think that's what they should do in Lahore. Play a rank turner, put Australia under pressure, and take the toss out of the equation. Because what happens is now that Australia, yes, they drew the match and everything, but they were never in a position to lose. Even when Babar Azam was playing those fabulous shots, they were never going to lose. They were going to either draw or win, draw worst case. So I think Pakistan, being the home side, they should put a pitch where a result will happen. And if they put a turning track, then the toss goes out of the equation, because even if they bowl first, they can get Australia out quickly, and then they can have like a 50-100 run lead and win the game like that. And I think that's a better way, because if Pakistan lose the toss again in the third test match, that's going to put pressure on them again. And if Australia put on 500 runs target once more, you're not going to have this kind of innings from Babar every day. This was a very, very special innings, one of the best innings under pressure. Yes, it was in home conditions, good track, but it was especially from him as one of the top knocks against Australia. But I would like to see a bit more aggressive approach in terms of the pitches, and take that toss out of the equation, put the pressure on Australia, and see how it goes. That's what I would like to see from Pakistan. From Australia's point of view, I think more of the same. They batted very well, a much better batting performance. No issue with the batting. I think the bowling, again, after such a good display in the first innings, you want to replicate that in the second innings. Yes, even if there is fight for Pakistan, I think Australia should have finished that off. So field placement as well. Smith dropping catches. We saw him practice after that drop during the breaks, and he was really working hard. But you need to take your catches. You have to be efficient in the field, and that's what's going to help you win games. If you give chances to the opposition, they will punish you, and that's exactly what happened with Australia. And so that's what they'll have to be alert on. And we've seen in the past as well, at the gap, Australia have this tendency when there's a big score on the board, they have a tendency to, I wouldn't say relax a bit, but they sometimes struggle to defend that target. And that's something they will want to work on, especially utilize that day 5 pitch a bit more, and use the tactics to put the pressure on the opposition and apply that pressure perfectly. That's exactly what they want to do, I think. But yeah, I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining me. The other test match, England versus West Indies, that's looking really good for England, losing only 3 wickets for 244. Joe Root with an outstanding 100, 119 of 246. He's been batting really well. Again, he came in early, pressure on him like in Australia and the Ashes, but he counter-attacked very well and left the ball well as well, and he knew exactly which ball to attack and which not to. So a fantastic innings from Joe Root. And the Women's World Cup today, we have another big game. India losing yesterday, unfortunately, a very poor performance from them. But if they had 40-50 runs, I think they could have really made a challenge of that total. England did struggle in the end to go through. They chased 130 with 4 wickets in hand. And if India had like 180, 190 on the board, I think they could have won that game. So a poor batting performance from India. They'll really want to improve that, but their bowling did look good. England, again, excellent in the field. I think they took their catch as well, fielded well, got the run-outs, direct hits. Everything was perfect from them. So they'll be very happy with that. And today's game, South Africa is playing the host New Zealand. South Africa in excellent form, beating England, beating Pakistan, and beating, I think it's Bangladesh. So they're in very good form, winning 3 games. But now there's a different challenge. They're playing the home side, New Zealand, who are also brimming with confidence now after a couple of good wins, despite losing to West Indies. They've got a couple of good wins under their belt. And they lost Australia as well, actually. So yeah, they're full of confidence. This is a very important game for New Zealand, not to come to think of it. And the likes of Susie Bates and Sophie Devine, Amelia Kerr, these guys will have to step up their game and put that pressure, because they're coming up against very good bowling, especially Shabnam Ismail has been outstanding. Cap has been really good in this tournament as well. So the South African lineup will surprise you, especially if South Africa bat first, put some runs on the board, they can put New Zealand under pressure. So New Zealand have to be careful, and I think it's a very important game for both teams, especially New Zealand. So let's see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for the latest content. Thank you.